Good morning, good morning, good morning. Y'all come on in. It's early, early. That's been how I've been though lately. Oh my God, I've been up so early. Y'all come on in, come on in. Ooh. Mm. This is when God has you doing stuff and you like looking at him like, really, God? Really? Really? But you have to make a decision of whether or not you're going to obey God, right? Mm. And today I could not afford not to obey him because he's been telling me this for a few days and I've not done it. I've not done it. I've not done it when he said to do it. I've not done it. So today I had to make myself move. I had to make myself get up. I had to make myself, move with some urgency and, I like with a sense of expectation. Like I had to do that because listen, this season is one where being sensitive to the instructions of God is very important. What's up, Mark Quinta? Congratulations, girl. I saw you, girl. Hey, Miss Carolyn, how are you? Good morning. Good morning. So, you guys, let me know who's here. Make sure that you share this broadcast. I'm here to bless some people. There's something that God is doing. God is not playing in this season, and I'm super excited about everything that's happening. So, let me say this first of all. Let me tell y'all why I did not want to be up at 5 o'clock in the morning, 5:55 live, right? Hey, woman of God, how are you? I'll tell you why I didn't want to be up. So, you all, I'm traveling. I'm traveling today. My family and I are traveling. Good morning. Good morning. I'm not sure who it is, but good morning. Okay. We're traveling today. We're headed to Kentucky for my dad's last celebration of life service. And it's a lot. Last night, I think a lot hit me. Um, and I just broke. And I began to weep uncontrollably. Now, normally I do pretty good, right? But last night I like it was one more thing, and I just began to cry, like cry. Thank you, beautiful. And you know, one of my sons is not going to be able to make it because he tore his ACL and he just had surgery. So he can't travel like that. Like he can't do it. Um, my daughter and the girls are not going to be able to go. Um, and they're my those girls have been my comfort in this time, especially the new baby Madison. I feel like she has a special connection with daddy. And so I just want to just hold her like all the time, right? And then my son who's there in Kentucky had messaged me and said that he wasn't going to be able to come. And I just was like, oh my God. You know how you feel like you're going through something all by yourself, right? And I already know that there are parts of this that I have to do alone. Like God has already told me that. Like it's not a surprise to me, but I don't like it. But sometimes there's a part of your journey that you just have to take seemingly alone, but not really. So I was crying and to the point where I was literally throwing up. And I look up. I was on the phone with one of my friends, and she was like, it's okay, Dr. V, it's okay. Breathe. I look up, and these four amazing young people are right there. And They don't know what to do. They're there, right? Trying to console me, pat me on my back, rub on my arm, just there. They're there, right? And I sat down and, they're like, Mama, are you okay? Are you okay? And when they don't know what to do, they call their older brother. They call their this is they FaceTime their older brother. And I'm just crying. Ah! Ah! And he's like, what happened? What happened? What happened? What happened? And so I was crying on one shoulder, one was wiping my eyes and my nose, the other one, he's trying to figure out, like, hey, big brother, what do we do here? What do we do? What do we do? What are the other girls like? She's rubbing me on my back. Like, they just legit are trying to take care of me. And God reminded me, in that moment, you can't worry about who can't be there or who's not there. Appreciate the people who are. Those young people stopped whatever they were doing. I don't know what they were doing, but they stopped whatever they were doing to come see about me. And I believe that God puts people in our lives to come see about us. They may not know what to do or what to say, but they know that they got to come see about you, right? And so this morning when I woke up, and I've been up, y'all, oh my God, since probably 3-4 o'clock in the morning. Like, that's been my journey. I just keep waking up early. Like, I'm up. Like, God, can I please just get some rest? God, I got to travel. God, can I, like, he said, get up. And he began to minister to me. And all yesterday, he was talking to me about 55. And, I'm 55. This is my 55th year. But he kept saying 55. So I'm like, okay, God. Yesterday, the word that he gave me for the people came from Isaiah 55, right? And so I talked about that. And this morning, he was like, I've been telling you, I want you to go live at 5:55. Okay, God. So this morning I had to do it. So let me say this. So I said, God, y'all, I gotta take my hair down. It's heavy. I said, God, oh Jesus, thank you, Lord. What is it that you want me to say to your people? Yes, the significance of fives, right? Because 5 is the number of what, you guys? 5 is the number of grace, right? And 55 is double grace. But check this out. 55 is also 10, which is 1, right? Which is the number of God. And I'm like, okay, God, what is it? So he took me to Isaiah 61. Okay. Took me, because let me tell you what I heard. I heard double blessings. He said, go to Isaiah 61. Now, y'all know, I tell y'all this all the time. Y'all probably don't believe me, but I don't know the Bible like that. I don't know what's in every chapter, right? I don't know what's in every book in every chapter. So I go to Isaiah 61, right? Because that's what God said. Hold on, y'all. Let me do this real quick, and I'm going to read it to you. I said, okay, God. Isaiah 61, and I'm reading from the New Living Translation. Hey, Nikki. Hey, Virginia. Good to see you. So Isaiah 61 says, now what I tell y'all I was doing last night, crying, just crying, just like boohoo crying, snotting crying, throwing up crying, just crying. Mourning, right? Mourning. Feeling overwhelmed. So it says, the Spirit of the Sovereign Lord is upon me. For the Lord has anointed me to bring good news to the poor. He has sent me to comfort the brokenhearted and to proclaim that the captives will be released and prisoners will be freed. He has sent me to tell those who mourn that the time of the Lord's favor has come, and with it the day of God's anger against their enemies, To all who mourn in Israel, he will give a crown of beauty for ashes, a joyous blessing instead of mourning, festive praise instead of despair. In their righteousness, they will be like great oaks that the Lord has planted for his own glory. They will rebuild the ancient ruins, repairing cities destroyed long ago. They will revive them. Though they have been deserted for many generations, foreigners will be your servants. They will feed your flocks and plow your fields and tend your vineyards. You will be called priests of the Lord, ministers of our God. You will feed on the treasures of the nations and boast in their riches. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Instead of shame and dishonor, you will enjoy a double share of honor. You will possess a double portion of prosperity in your land, and everlasting joy will be yours. For I, the Lord, love justice, and I hate robbery and wrongdoing. I will faithfully reward my people for their suffering and make an everlasting covenant with them. Their descendants will be recognized and honored among the nations. Everyone will realize that they are a people the Lord has blessed. I am overwhelmed with joy in the Lord, my God, for he has dressed me with the clothing of salvation and draped me in a robe of righteousness. I am like a bridegroom dressed for his wedding, or a bride with her jewels. The sovereign Lord will show his justice to the nations of the world. Everyone will praise him. His righteousness will be like a garden in early spring, with plants springing up everywhere. So, in the midst of my mourning, to all who mourn, and there are a lot of people mourning right now, to all who mourn in Israel, he will give a crown of beauty for ashes, a joyous blessing instead of mourning, festive praise instead of despair. In their righteousness, they will be like great oaks that the Lord has planted for his own glory. They will rebuild the ancient ruins. Listen, if you feel like you're in a place where things are falling apart, being destroyed, ruined, right? If you feel like you're in a place where that's what's been happening for you, I want you to comment me in the comments. If you feel like you're in a place where, things have fallen apart and it seems like all of these things are going wrong at the same time. And, if that's you, I want you to put me in the comments. Put me in the comments. Put me in the comments. If you feel like you're in a place where stuff is falling apart, stuff is just seems like things are going left, and it's not just one thing, it's multiple things all at the same time. Put me in the comments. Put me in the comments. Hey, Britt. Yeah, babe. Yeah, I get it. Yes, Miss Carolyn. Yes, Nikki. Yes. Y'all listen. I promise you, there's so much happening in my life all at the same time. Like, it is like so much that, and it's not easy for me to be overwhelmed. Yes, Virginia, I see you. It's not easy for me to get overwhelmed. I can carry a lot, but when I get to the point where I can't carry it, it's like, what in the world is going on? But how many of you know that sometimes God needs you in that place right there, that place, the place where you can't carry it? See, it's in that place that you get chiseled. It's in that place that you have to rely on him. It's in that place that, he is your source. It's in that place where he provides for you, right? When you can't provide for yourself and something is going on and your money is funny and your change is strange and everything seems off, right? That's when God steps in. And if you're like me, and I'm not saying you are, but if you are like me and you're the person who is accustomed to being able to figure everything out, work it, like you get, listen, then when you can't, you feel away. You feel away. And you feel like you're failing. But literally, God is trying to get you to the place where you understand that it's not about your grind. It's not about your ability to carry everything and make everything happen. It's not about your hustle. It's about his favor. There is a favor that rests on your life that you're not tapping into. There is favor that rests in on your life that you can't receive because you're trying to do everything in your strength, in your own strength, in the natural. But there are things that are happening in the spirit realm, and God needs you to rely on him and not your ability. It ain't your ability. Now, what he will do though is he will give you witty ideas and inventions to produce in your life, but you will know that that wasn't you, that was God. When we think we can do it in our own, we think we don't need God. Oh, I did. Well, listen now. You think it's about your job and your salary. Let me tell you something. God has provided for me when there was no salary. God has provided for me when there was nothing coming from seemingly anywhere, and suddenly something shows up. Listen, this is how God works, right? This is when you know it ain't you, you know it's God. When you have a need and the need can't be met in the normal ways, the need can't be met, and God shows up and provides for that need. And you're like, what? I'm going to give you an example. Listen, let me tell y'all something. You know, God will do things as a sign, okay? So I remember my divorce was just final last week, right? And I remember I had been putting off turning in the paperwork, right? Putting off. And I said, okay, finally had to go do it. I went and I said, okay, well, I'm gonna file for I can't remember what it's called. Like, you can't pay it, right? You can't pay it. So I filled out the application. They said, ma'am, you don't qualify. What the what? So I said, okay, how much is it? The woman gave me the number, like it was 400 and something dollars, right? So I go to my account. I'm like, I know good and well, I just spent a chunk of money. I know I don't have 400 some dollars in my account. I know I don't, but let me just look. Let me look. And I go to my account. And y'all, when listen to me. When I tell y'all that I had almost exactly the amount of money that it cost to file for my divorce with some change left over, a little change, almost exactly the amount of money that it cost. I said, well, first of all, I wasn't expecting to see that money in my account. Second of all, the fact that it was almost exactly the amount with a little bit left over messed me up. I was like, how much did you say again? And she told me, and I looked at the account and I was like, what in the world? God gave me enough for me to know, listen, this is me. See, people will tell you that God is not in divorce and God is not this, but I'm going to tell y'all something. God provided me with almost exactly the amount of money needed to file for the divorce. Now, is God happy about divorce? No. But God has a plan for our lives. And you all listen, we need to stop thinking that our thoughts are his thoughts, because our thoughts are not his thoughts and our ways are not his ways. And so I paid that money. Here, take this card, swipe this card, go and do what you got to do. Okay? Because I knew God had confirmed for me, listen, this is what I told you to do this. Okay? Now, I know that's going to mess some church people up and they're going to say God would never tell you to get a divorce, but I don't believe that. That is not the truth. Listen, he hates divorce. He absolutely does. But there's a reason that he instituted it, right? He instituted it because there were some things that were happening to women. And God said, listen, give them a writ of divorcement. Don't just put them away with nothing. Just give them a writ of divorcement and make sure they're taken care of. So God can provide for you regardless of what you have. So this morning when he said double, I said, God, listen, I don't know what you're doing. This is what I know. I can't do what I have to do this weekend without you. I don't know how things are happening. I don't, I'm feeling overwhelmed. Emotionally, I'm drained. I just don't know, God. I just don't know. And when I tell you that for me to wake up to these scriptures, and he said clearly, Isaiah 61, go to Isaiah 61. I'm like, okay, God, to all who mourn in Tampa, to me, he will give a crown of beauty for ashes. Now, check this out. There's nothing accidental in what God does. There's a crown of beauty for ashes. And my dad was cremated. So we're transporting his ashes today back home. There's some things that God is downloading to me that I've got to do too, as it relates to his ashes as well. But I'm like, wow, a joyous blessing instead of mourning. And in our righteousness, we will be planted like great oaks that the Lord is planted for his own glory. Everything that we're going through right now is designed for God to get glory out of. Y'all, this is not about me being seen. It's not about me being heard, but it's about me showing God's glory. Grieving is a challenging thing. Losing a parent is a challenging thing. Losing someone that you love, period, is a challenging thing. And when you're someone who normally can just hold it all together, for something to happen in your life that is like a gut punch that doubles you over, and you say, hold on, wait a minute. You got to give me a minute to recover from this one. You got to give me a minute to get up. And then it's like one thing after another. Listen, you need to know that God is doing something. I've been telling you all that God is trying to do a deep healing in our lives. He's doing a deep healing. And this is what he needs you to know. I know you've gone through a lot. I know that you've overcome a lot, but I know that there's a lot pressing on you right now. And I know that there's some things that have happened that had people in a position who were haters, who were laughing at you and mocking you and making fun of you. And I know that you may feel some shame and some things that you've gone through. Listen. Wow. 5 divorces. Wow. There are people who will make comments that can produce shame. But God says, instead of shame and dishonor, you will enjoy a double share of honor. You will possess a double portion of prosperity in your land, and everlasting joy will be yours. I'm trying to tell y'all that God is restoring you. But in order for you to have that full restoration, there are some things that you have had to go through. But it's not to take you out. It's not to destroy you. It is to strengthen you. When I tell people the things that are going on in my life right now, they say, wow, you're so strong. And you know what my thought is? be strong. I want to be strong. I want to be done. Like, I want to be through carrying everything. I want to, like, I don't want to be like, I want somebody to carry some of this for me. I want someone to carry it for me. And God will not let it be so. So it is the preparation for the weight of your next assignment. It is the preparation for the weight of my next assignment. If you can't handle what you're going through right now, you definitely won't be able to handle what's coming. I'm telling you. Yeah, Roxanne. Roxanne said, I'm at that point in my life. If God didn't make me this strong, I would give up. Thank you. Yeah, he will show up and show out. It hurts so bad. I just said that tonight. I'm telling you, listen, if you're in a place where you're like, oh my, I don't know what I'm going to do because it just hurts. It just hurts. It hurts. It's too much. Like, that's what you feel like. It's too much. This is too much. I can't do this. It's too much. But baby, can I share this with you? Just like God showed out in the past, he's going to show out now. Just like God showed up for you in the past, he's going to show up now. Just like God has carried you in the other times when you didn't think you could make it. I know it feels like you're by yourself, but God says this is the time that I want it to be me and you. Just because it looks like there's one set of footprints in the sand doesn't mean that those footprints are yours. I need you to check the size of the shoe. It's not your shoe size, it's his shoe size. He's carrying us in the midst of what's going on right now. He's carrying us, literally lifted us up, and he's carrying us. So if you feel like you need to cry, cry, because you can cry on his shoulder. He's got you. If you feel like you need to cry, he's going to comfort you. He's dispatched his ministering angels to minister to your broken and wounded places. He's ministering to you. But listen, you've got to allow yourself to be in the place where you can receive what it is that he is sending you, what it is that you stand in need of. See, we've done a lot of covering. We've just covered things. We've just covered things up. We've just put a Band-Aid on things that didn't need a Band-Aid. They needed surgery. You see, my son who tore his ACL, he couldn't just put a brace on and just keep walking on that leg, because he would have messed his leg up and have destroyed his ability to walk the way he needs to walk, to perform the way he needs to perform, just because he wouldn't allow the surgeon to do what he needed to do. He had to go under the surgeon's knife. And today we've got to understand that God has taken us under the surgeon's knife, but it's not been in vain. It's not been for nothing. It's not been for naught. Listen, this is the blessing. He gave us anesthesia. Come on, y'all. Listen, there's a difference between going under the knife, under anesthesia, and a deep anesthesia where they put you to sleep. He's put you to sleep to cut you open and perform. And I know you woke up and you were in pain, and I know you woke up and you were crying, but baby, you didn't have to watch everything. You didn't have to watch every cut and every incision. You didn't have to watch the bleeding that was happening. You didn't have to watch as they stitched you up. You didn't have to watch as they took something out of you. You didn't have to watch all of that. And this is what I need you to understand, that God's grace is sufficient. Listen, I know you're saying, God, I don't want to go through this. I know you're saying it because I'm saying it. I'm saying, God, listen, I don't want to go through this. And he's saying, I'm like Jesus in the garden. Listen, Father, we're arguing. Why do you have me here by myself? And if there's any way that I cannot go through this, is there another way we can do it? Is there another way we can do this? Is there something else that we can do other than me, dying on the cross, hung up there, piercing in the side? Is there something else that we can do? And God was silent. He said, okay, not my will, but yours. Let your will be done. My family has been wondering, what's taking so long? What's taking so long? What's taking so long? What's taking so long? What's going on? What's going to happen? When is it going to happen? And I get it. But y'all, I promise you, I couldn't. Like, it was so much. It was so much. So quickly. I couldn't. God had to build me up to get me to the point where I can like do the memorial service. My dad died September the 30th, and just dealing with everything. It's like each thing made it more real that my dad was gone. Each thing made it more real that I would never hear him say, I love you again. Each thing made it more real that he wouldn't get to see the next great grandbabies. You know what I'm saying? Each thing made it more real. And so for me, this weekend, it's going to be a celebration of his life. But y'all, listen, it's taken me so much to just get to the place where I can do it. Like, it's taken me a lot. So for God to give me these words this morning, for God to remind me that for those who are mourning, I'm giving you beauty for your ashes. Yes, Nick, I'm telling you. Y'all, listen. It's so real. It's so real, but it's not just for me. See, this is why I have to be on here, because it's not just for me. It's so that other people who are going through this, can know that they're not by themselves. Like, you're not crazy, because you feel crazy. You feel crazy when you just like bust out in tears, like seemingly for no reason. And my kids are like, "Ma, you okay? What's wrong?" And listen, what I really wanted to say, this is what I really wanted to say. What I really wanted to say is, I want my daddy. I just want my daddy. That's all. I just want my daddy. And yet God, in his infinite wisdom, gave me time with my daddy. He gave me time so that his last days, I was able to be with him. Although even that is hard, y'all. Oh my God. It is so hard to watch somebody you love die right in front of you. Oh my God. That is one of the hardest things in the world, to see life leaving their body. Like, that's so hard. And I know this. I know that there's a reason that God did that, because it could have been a thing where he had COVID and was in the hospital and nobody was able to be in there. Nobody, and he was just by himself the whole time. It could have been that, but it wasn't that. God orchestrated it so, my kids could go. They could go and see him. My ex was able to go and see him. We were able to have final conversations. My sisters, even who are in Tennessee, like, they were able to talk to him on FaceTime. And my son in Kentucky talked to him on FaceTime. And I was able to let people talk to him so that they could say what they wanted to say to him, so that they didn't have to have those regrets and have something that was left over. But this is the beauty. This is the beauty. Oh, Nick, right. This is the beauty. Isaiah 61. Isaiah 61. You all, there is a peace that I have today that I did not have yesterday, last night. There is an expectation that I have today that I did not have last night. For those of you who are standing in expectation, like you're expecting God to do something. Listen. Let me just go back for just a second. Because I want to remind you. Of what God said in Isaiah 61. It said, the Spirit of the sovereign Lord is upon me, for the Lord has anointed me to bring good news to the poor. He has sent me to comfort the brokenhearted and to proclaim the captives will be released and prisoners will be freed. He has sent me to tell those who mourn that the time of the Lord's favor has come, and with it the day of God's anger against their enemies, To all who mourn in Israel, he will give a crown of beauty for ashes, a joyous blessing instead of mourning, a festive praise instead of despair. In their righteousness, they will be like great oaks that the Lord has planted for his glory. They will rebuild the ancient ruins, repairing cities destroyed long ago. They will revive them. Y'all are revivers, resuscitators, okay? Though they have been deserted for many generations, foreigners will be your servants. They will feed your flocks and plow your fields and tend your vineyards. You will be called the priests of the Lord and ministers of our God. You will feed on the treasures of nations and boast in their riches. Listen, if finances is an issue for you right now, if you're trying to figure it out, listen, God is reminding you that there are promises that he's made to you. Listen, it's a temporary thing. It's a temporary thing. You're in a temporary situation. Do not allow the circumstances that you find yourself facing right now determine your level of expectation for what God is going to do in your life. He said, you will feed on the treasures of the nations and boast in their riches. Instead of shame and I don't care what you've done. I don't care what you've gone through. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care what people have said. I don't care who thinks that you're not worthy. I don't care about any of that. What God said is, instead of shame and dishonor, you will enjoy a double share of honor. Oh, God is going to show people who you are. God is going to show them that his hand is on you. God is going to let them know who you are, whose you are, and why you are here. You will enjoy a double share of honor. You will possess a double portion of prosperity in your land. In whose land? In your land, the land that belongs to you. And everlasting joy will be yours. For I, the Lord, love justice, and I hate robbery and wrongdoing. I will faithfully reward my people for their suffering and make an everlasting covenant with them. Their descendants will be recognized and honored among the nations. Everyone will realize that they are a people the Lord has blessed. Now, if we're going to be overwhelmed, this is how we need to be overwhelmed. I am overwhelmed with joy in the Lord my God. For he has dressed me with the clothing of salvation and draped me with a robe of righteousness. I am like a bridegroom dressed for his wedding, or a bride with her jewels. The sovereign Lord will show his justice to the nations of the world. Listen, God wants to use you as a demonstration. God wants to use you as a demonstration. I teach speech. And when I teach speech, they do what's known as a demonstration speech. A demonstration speech is where you show how to do something. It is a how-to speech. Well, I am a walking demonstration. Listen, you are a walking demonstration of how to walk out whatever you're going through, how to go through what you're going through. God is using you as a demonstration to others so that they might know how to do it and that it is possible yet for them. My God. My God. And that may not have blessed y'all, but that just blessed my whole spirit, because I promise y'all, I'm sitting over here, God, I don't know how this is going to happen. I don't know how that's going to happen. I don't know, God. I don't know. He said, trust me. Trust me. I know you trusted your bank account. I know you trusted some people, but trust me. I want you to put your trust in me. Today, I challenge you to put your trust in God. Not to trust in man, not to trust in what you got. Put your trust in God and watch what he does for you. Why is he going to do it for you? Because you are his. We belong to him. He wants to use us to be like that great oak, planted, firmly planted, roots deep. See, the thing about oak trees is oak trees don't sway. Oak trees be up there like, what? Oaks are some of the strongest trees on the earth. Oaks. 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 Hold on, I got it. Hold on. Hold on. Something dropped in my spirit. I need to see something. Listen. Listen. Mm, listen. God, God is doing some amazing things that are designed for you to be an example. For you to be an example. For you to be an example for all those who watch you, for all those who see you, for all those who look at you, like for you to be an example. Huh? Wow. I don't know if you have really understood how much God loves us, or even the significance of Isaiah 61 or the scroll of Isaiah, right? When Jesus was in the temple and he stood up to read, he opened the scrolls of Isaiah, and he read exactly what I just read. He began to declare it. And even as Jesus spoke those words, when we declare those words, we ought to feel a connection with him. For it was after that that he really launched out in his public ministry. And he let those in the temple know, this is what I've been called to do. When I was called to ministry, that was the scripture that God gave me. That's what he gave me. And so that's been my assignment. Aha, aha. I understood the assignment. Ha, aha, aha. I understood the assignment. Listen, you got to understand your assignment. There is a double blessing that God is dropping. God is dropping a double blessing into. And then I woke up and the prophetic word talked about double blessing. Expect the unexpected and expect double. Okay, God said double. Isaiah 61 said double. And then this prophetic word is saying double. I'm expecting double. So this is why God has had 55 in my spirit so much. He's had 55 in my spirit. Like 55, 55. Well, I'm 55. And it's double grace because it's going to take that. Listen, there is a double waiting for you. Listen, and if you feel led, this is what I want you to do. I want you to sow a seed of $55. $55. Sow a seed of 55, 55. Those double fives. Sow a seed of 55. And let God be God and show you. Let him show you what he's going to do. But I have a spirit of expectation. I have a spirit of, like, I know God is doing something. I know God is doing something. You can send it to my Cash App, $ Dr. V Walters. If you need PayPal, it's paypal.me/Dr. V Walters. There's a double that God is desiring to get into our hands. A double. And I'm here for the double. I'm here for whatever God is doing. I'm here for it. When God said 55, he said 55, 55, 55, 55. And I want y'all to stay tuned because this weekend I'm going to be dropping some classes as well. I'm going to be dropping some classes and God is doing something with that 55. Y'all, listen, it is time for us to obey God, no matter what. Obey God. Obey God. And I believe him. And y'all, let me be honest. Let me just be honest with you. I've been having a crisis of faith. Like all of this that I've been going through, it's been challenging my faith. It has challenged my faith. I want you to hear me. It has challenged my faith. But I keep going. Today, I feel renewed. Today, I feel like I can run on and see what the end is going to be. Today, I can face everything that I need to face. I can face it. God has strengthened me. God has strengthened me for this journey. And I pray that this word has strengthened you, that this word has given you encouragement, that it has blessed you, that it has given you some renewed faith and hope and given you a spirit of expectation. Expect God to be true to his word. Expect double. I'm expecting it. I'm expecting God to do exactly what he said he was going to do. I'm standing in a state of expectation. Well, I'm sitting in a state of expectation right now, but I'm expecting it. So what does that mean? It means that I'm going to do everything that I need to do as though it's already done and keep it moving like, okay, let's go. I can't worry about what I can't do. All I can do is trust that God will do. I can't worry about what I can't do. I've got to trust that God will do. And I challenge you to trust him. I double dog dare you to trust God, to believe God, to expect him. I'm expecting God to do healing in my family. I'm expecting God to show up mightily at the celebration of life. I'm expecting the words of people to penetrate the hearts of others. I'm expecting God to do hard work on me. I'm expecting my heart to be mended. And I'm just in expectation. I'm in expectation for what God is going to do. With that said, I got to get off here because I haven't packed a thing. Okay. And we got to get on the road this morning. So I'm getting ready to pack, getting ready to get everything together so that we can head this road. I got to make sure I don't leave the ashes. Listen, the way my mind been working. Okay. I got to expect my God to restore my mind. And I just got to do what he's called me to do and what he said to do. Walk in the spirit of expectation and watch God show up for you. Watch it. Watch it. Watch it. 55, 5. God is trying to do something with that 55, that double grace. There's something that God is doing. This is what I've come to understand. When I don't know what God is doing, I have to just trust that he's doing something. When I don't know what God is doing, I have to trust that he's doing something. And today, I trust him to show up in my situation. I trust him to mend my broken heart. I trust him for the joy instead of ashes. I trust him. I literally saw myself like sprinkling my daddy's ashes and joy coming upon me. Wow. Okay, God. Wow. So you all listen. I don't know about you, but I believe God. You don't have to believe me. Don't believe me, but believe God. He's not a man that he can lie. And this is the season for restoration. This is the season for double honor instead of shame. I'm telling you, God is sending double honor. He's sending prosperity, double prosperity. Like, it's not in vain. So get ready to receive. Look, you guys, I absolutely love you guys to life and life more abundant. Share this message with someone who needs some encouragement. And look, know this. God is not picking on you, but he has definitely picked you. He's picked you. And if he picked you, it means that he knows that you got it. I love you guys to life and life more abundant. Be blessed. Mwah.